The Miami sun blazed overhead as Coco Gauff walked to the baseline for what should have been a routine service game in the third set of her quarterfinal match. She was up 40-love, 3 points away from holding serve, 3 points from maintaining momentum against Belinda Bencic, the crafty Swiss veteran who had been making life difficult all afternoon. What happened next left the young American star furious with herself, and it nearly derailed her entire tournament. Gauff didn't just lose that game from 40-love up. She imploded. Her straight points disappeared like sand through her fingers. Not because Bencic suddenly transformed into a superhuman returner. Not because the Swiss player hit 4 miraculous winners that left Gauff helpless and applauding her opponent's brilliance. No, what made this collapse so infuriating for the 21-year-old American was that she knew exactly whose fault it was. Hers. After clawing her way back to defeat Bencic in 3 grueling sets and secure her spot in the Miami Open semifinals, Gauff sat down with reporters and didn't sugarcoat what had happened during that critical moment in the third set. Her honesty was refreshing. Her frustration was still visible. "I lost that 40-love game, and I was really upset with myself," Gauff admitted, the disappointment evident in her voice even after winning the match. "It was not like she hit 4 return winners. It was points that were on my racket. That distinction matters enormously in tennis. There's a difference between getting beaten by brilliant shot-making from your opponent and beating yourself through unforced errors and mental lapses." Gauff understood she had done the latter, and it aided her even in victory. The match itself had been a roller coaster that tested every aspect of Gauff's game and mental toughness. The first set seemed almost easy. She was cruising, controlling points, dictating play with her powerful ground strokes and superior athleticism. Even when she lost a lead in that opening set, Gauff felt comfortable. She was playing her game. She was in control. Then the second set happened. "I felt like in the first set, even though I lost that lead, I felt I was kind of cruising," Gauff explained. "And the second just got away from me really fast." Fast is an understatement. Bencic, a former top 10 player and Olympic gold medalist who knows how to win big matches, raised her level dramatically. She started finding angles that Gauff couldn't cover. She mixed up pace and spin. She refused to give the American anything comfortable to hit. Before Gauff could fully process what was happening, the second set was slipping away. By the time the score reached 5-1 in Bencic's favor, Gauff had accepted the inevitable. "Once it was 5-1, I was like, okay, we're going to the third set," she said with a matter-of-fact tone of someone who has been in enough battles to recognize when a set is beyond saving. The third set became something primal. Not technical mastery or tactical brilliance, but pure competitive will. 2 players locked in a test of who wanted it more, who could sustain intensity longer, who would break first under pressure. "I think that third set was really just will," Gauff said, perfectly summarizing what everyone watching could feel. This wasn't chess. This was a street fight played with rackets. And that's when the 40-love game happened. The moment that could have broken Gauff's spirit and handed the match to Bencic. Leading in the third set, but needing to consolidate, Gauff stepped to the line with a comfortable cushion. 3 points from holding. 3 points from taking another step toward the semifinals. Then she lost 4 straight points. Not through Bencic's brilliance, but through her own mistakes. Points that were, as Gauff painfully acknowledged, on her racket. Errors she should never have made at that stage of such a crucial match. Lesser players might have folded after that kind of collapse. The mental damage from losing a 40-love service game in the deciding set of a quarterfinal can be catastrophic. It's the kind of moment that haunts players for weeks, the kind of turning point that shifts momentum irreversibly. But Gauff isn't a lesser player. She's a Grand Slam champion. She's someone who has won the biggest matches on the sport's biggest. One terrible game defined the match. And eventually, after more drama and tension, she found a way to close out Bencic and secure the victory. The match point itself became a perfect microcosm of Gauff's entire performance, imperfect, surprising, and ultimately successful. It came off a drop shot, which was particularly ironic given what Gauff revealed afterward. That match point was kind of funny, Gauff said with a slight smile, because yesterday I hit really bad drop shots on break points and I told myself that I was not going to hit any drop shots on any important points. Tennis players make these kinds of mental notes all the time. When a particular shot fails repeatedly in high-pressure moments, the logical response is to stop attempting that shot in high-pressure moments. Gauff had decided after her previous match that drop shots and big points were a toxic combination she needed to avoid. But match point against Bencic? Her hand hit a drop shot anyway. But sometimes you just play tennis and you're not even thinking, and I think it's the best when you play when you are not thinking. Gauff explained with the wisdom of someone who understands that overthinking is often the enemy of great performance. There's profound truth in that observation. Tennis at the highest level requires thousands of hours of practice to build muscle memory and instinctive reactions. When players trust those instincts instead of consciously deliberating every shot, they often play their best tennis. The drop shot on match point wasn't a conscious decision. It was instinct taking over, and even though Bencic managed to get to the ball, Gauff still won the point and the match. Former Grand Slam quarterfinalist Sophie Amiak, watching the match for Sky Sports, couldn't contain her enthusiasm for Gauff's performance, particularly those drop shots that had worked so much better than the ones from the previous day. "I don't know what to say except drop shot galore," Amiak exclaimed, her excitement palpable. Can she hit her drop shot any better tonight? Amiak, who reached the quarterfinals of the French Open during her playing career, understood exactly what she was watching. This wasn't just a young player winning a match. This was a champion demonstrating the complete arsenal and mental fortitude required to succeed at the highest levels of professional tennis. What a match! What a third set! Amiak continued. Coco Gauff. Spectacular tonight. Absolutely spectacular. The victory moved Gauff into the Miami Open semifinals, but it also raised an interesting question about sustainability. By the time the semifinals rolled around, no one remaining in the tournament had spent more time on court than Gauff. All those three-set battles, all that physical and mental energy expended, would it catch up with her as the tournament progressed? Tennis is often a war of attrition at this level. The player who can manage their energy most efficiently, who can win matches quickly rather than grinding through 3-hour marathons, often has an advantage in the later rounds when accumulated fatigue becomes a factor. Gauff had taken the scenic route through the quarterfinals. She had survived when things went wrong. She had shown remarkable resilience after that devastating 40-love game collapse. But there's a cost to that kind of victory, both physically and mentally. The question heading into the semifinals was whether Gauff had enough left in the tank to maintain this level for 2 more matches, whether her youth and fitness could compensate for the extra court time, whether the mental strength she displayed in coming back against Bencic would be an asset or whether it had drained too much from her reserves. For Bencic, the loss was disappointing but not devastating. The Swiss player, currently ranked 12th in the live WTA rankings, had shown she could still compete with the very best players in the world. Her performance, particularly that dominant second set, proved that her game remained dangerous despite not being in the top 10 anymore. The upcoming Charleston Open, beginning Monday, March 30th, would give Bencic another opportunity to climb back into the sport's elite tier. Whether she could seize that opportunity remained to be seen, but her performance in Miami suggested the talent and competitive fire were still very much present. But the story leaving Miami was undeniably about Gauff, about her ability to win even when things go wrong, about her honesty in acknowledging her mistakes rather than making excuses, about her understanding that sometimes the best tennis happens when you stop thinking and just trust your instincts. That 40-love game she lost in the third set, the one that left her really upset with herself, could have been the turning point that ended her tournament. Instead, it became just another obstacle she overcame on her way to the semifinals. Another test she passed. Another piece of evidence that Coco Gauff has the mental toughness to match her physical talent. Because in tennis and in life, it's not about avoiding mistakes. Everyone makes them. Even the greatest champions lose 40-love service games in crucial moments. What separates the champions from everyone else is what they do after those mistakes. Do they fold? Do they panic? Do they let one bad game become two, then three, then a lost match? Or do they dig deeper, fight harder, and find a way to win anyway? Gauff chose the latter. She got upset with herself, sure. She recognized her mistakes clearly. But she didn't let that upset destroy her confidence or her performance. She channeled it into determination, into the pure competitive will that carried her through that deciding set. And when match point arrived, she didn't overthink it. She just played tennis. She hit the drop shot her instincts told her to hit, even though her conscious mind had decided drop shots on big points were forbidden. And it worked. That's the mark of a true champion. The ability to be simultaneously self-critical and self-confident. To acknowledge mistakes while still believing you'll find a way to win. To trust your instincts even when they contradict your conscious strategies. Coco Gauff showed all of that in her quarterfinal victory over Belinda Bencic. She showed why she's a Grand Slam champion, why she's one of the best players in the world, and why, despite that frustrating 40-love game that left her really upset with herself, she's exactly the kind of player who figures out how to win when everything isn't going perfectly. Because perfect tennis is rare. What matters is whether you can win the imperfect matches, whether you can overcome your own mistakes, whether you have the will to keep fighting when things get difficult. In Miami, Gauff proved once again that she has that will, that she can win the messy, complicated matches where nothing comes easily, that she can be upset with herself for losing a 40-love game and still find a way to win the match. That's the kind of mental toughness that wins championships. And Gauff has it in abundance. Want more drama from the biggest matches in tennis? Stories about how champions handle pressure and overcome adversity? Drop a comment below and let me know what match or player you want covered next. Smash that like button if you love seeing how the best players in the world battle through difficult moments. And subscribe with notifications on because we're bringing you inside the mental game of professional tennis, showing you the moments of frustration, resilience, and triumph that make this sport so compelling. Tennis isn't just about perfect shots and highlight reel winners. It's about fighting through the messy moments, overcoming your own mistakes, and finding a way to win when nothing is going according to plan. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.